Thank you, Tawana. Thank you for conjuring up the courage to stand in front of this cacophony of people and tell them part of your story. It's a privilege to be on this path with you. I would like to just thank everybody for coming. Thank Councilmember Samuels for your words and for being on time for this one. And might be some other folks in the room I should point out as well, but I do want to just point you to the back of our program and just recognize the sponsors that have helped make this event possible. Bell Lumber and Poles, Marketplace, Crew 2, U.S. Bank University Bank, and Success Computer Solutions and Kemp's. And then I just got word that our friendly Mayor R.T. Rybeck is here. Where's our? Over here. Come on. So I'm gonna. Okay, now RT, I know how you politicians are, so you got to keep this to like 2 minutes, right? Thanks for coming.
Be very fast. Don't clap. I don't have any time here. Let me do this real fast. Let me just say that, in the life and the work that I lead, I have a lot of trouble sometimes balancing the mayor in me and the person of faith in me. The person who has to really get some tangible things done, and the person who really has to ask some of these bigger questions about some of the issues in front of us. And, in an hour, I'm going to the 5th of 5 funerals of people at the Accent shooting. And it's tough, I have to say, to balance all that. But I have to say there's no other part of the work that I have or the life that I have or the life that this city has that brings those two things together. The tangible things we do and the spiritual fuel that we need than Urban Homeworks. There is nothing that I know that does it better. Don't clap, I don't have any time here. Yeah. And, I think it was 9 years ago, and my friend Dan Cunningham brought this wonderful group to me. And so he asked me to meet with him. I sat down with Chad. He talked about some things. I was impressed. I never would have dreamed at that point what Urban Homeworks has been able to do. The incredible stories you've just heard are amazing, one-of-a-kind people, but there are scores of other people who can tell exactly that same story. And here in a community that has the largest gap between haves and have-nots of almost any metropolitan area in the country, we have a gift from God in this amazing organization. And, we've all read about the fishes and loaves. And I know you're about to hear from Chad, and he's going to say all sorts of wonderful things, but the bottom line is he's going to ask you to write a check. Now, in the whole fishes and loaves story that we know, a group of people came together, and their faith really brought them to look at each other and say, dig a little deeper, share a little more, be part of something bigger. And boy, I know that this crowd that has done so much will give as much as you possibly can to a group that has given untold things to the city. Thank you for supporting them. We're going to continue to be with them every step of the way. And thanks to everybody for being part of Urban Homeworks. That's 2 minutes.
All right, so my thing is longer than 6 minutes, so we're going to be late. All right, we're trying to get this done in 58 minutes, so you'll have to indulge me. I get the privilege to work with probably one of the highest privileges of my life is to work with just an incredible group of people that are incredibly competent, incredibly committed, and I would just like to take a second and just have you recognize them as they stand up and help me thank them. So this last 13 years has been a crazy journey for me, both in this role and in my life. So I'd like to take a second and just introduce myself, talk a little bit about who I've begun to understand myself to be and who I am becoming. I am a husband to Sheila. I am a father to Sam, Joe, and Kate. I am a son to Wayne and Jan. I am trying to figure out how to follow this Jesus. I am a neighbor in North Minneapolis. I am white. I am middle-ish class. I am heterosexual. I am male. And I am the benefactor of a whole pile of privileges just because I am some of these things. I am awakening to and getting more and more conscious about how these privileges have and continue to contribute towards disparities between me and my neighbor. I am committed to my neighbor. I am not guilty. I am motivated. I am inspired and motivated to invest my life in being a solution, taking the unconscious liability of blind privilege and converting it through the fires of solidarity and relationship towards a conscious asset that leads to transformational change. I am sold out. I am all in on the mission of Urban Homeworks, not as the tool or even a good tool, but as one of a number of great tools that we have in our toolbox as a community to perpetuate this hope of Jesus Christ and to aspire towards this idea and vision of what a beloved community is. So this idea of perpetuate conjures up some things in my brain. It suggests this idea of catalyzing or encouraging, of building upon, that the hope is already here, and I am not bringing it. You're not bringing it either, but what we get to do is enter into it. It goes far beyond this passive notion of preserving into something active and compelling. To perpetuate means that we stand in solidarity through the storms of our day, and that as we walk together through the rubble of the storm, we trust that the path will unfold before us and that a clear view of the hope will emerge on the horizon. As Jim spoke, he referred to the idea of inspiration, to be indwelled by something that motivates and compels, that perpetuates one towards a hope that one sees in oneself or in your neighbor, to be attracted by both a people and a place. The photo of Heather's house that was on the screen earlier, I think, is a profound image of this kind of perpetuate. In the midst of the rubble, her eyes were on that rainbow on the horizon and the hope that it represents. And she found herself in a place where she felt she was not alone. She was part of a place, and she was part of a people. Tawana described this in her story as what it means to return back to her community, back to a community, and a fabric of relationships as a foundation to further perpetuate that hope that was so evidently and clearly in her. She is drawn to a place, and she is drawn to a people. We lost a warrior for this kind of hope this last year. Dr. John McKay Williams could always be found in the rubble working toward the recovery. No matter what the storm, 9/11, the Northside tornado, or the numerous social and economic storms that raged over the years on West Broadway, on and around West Broadway, he was always there. He perpetuated a hope and a presence that was beyond himself, and we will miss him.